What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 42 of Lyon Live here in Football Manager 2019. Hopefully you guys are good. Today we're going to be continuing on with our pre-season campaign. If you missed yesterday's video, go check it out. It was a good one. Oddly, loads of you watched it. So if you're someone who watched that video who maybe doesn't watch other episodes in the series, what made you click on that one? What made you stick with it? What made you come back today? I don't know, YouTube's weird. I feel like YouTube sometimes just decides to push a video to more people in the recommended section and, you know, in sub boxes and on your homepage. And then other times it just doesn't do it with videos. And obviously it's all a bit voodoo witchcraft when it comes to the, I guess, YouTube algorithm. It's hard to know exactly what's going on behind the scenes. But yeah, yesterday's video, for whatever reason, loads of you watched. So if you did watch it, hopefully you enjoyed it. And of course, welcome back if you're coming back today. Yeah, obviously, it's more Lyon Live. It's more pre-season. Not a lot's changed since you were last here. In fact, nothing's changed since you were last here. You can see our under-19s players playing for the French under-19s as they beat Bulgaria's under-19s. That's an okay little result there. You can see all four of them playing in the team as well, which is really, really good to see. Let's have a quick look, actually, at the French youth setup. So in the national team, so Fekir and Saint-Maximin are in the team from our squad. If we go down to the under-21s, and we'll go to general info rather than our international squad view, you can see Gabels is in the under-21s. In the under-20s, we have no one because there isn't really an under-20s team selected. In fact, that's a lie. We've got Maxi here. I wonder if there's a few of our other players out on loan. Actually, yeah, you can see here Konate's out on loan as well. And let's just have a quick look at the under-19s, where we've got a few more players, including, of course, Durand, who's on loan at Lyon. Going to be interesting to see if he does get that regular first-team football that they've promised us, with him being promoted, obviously, to the top flight of France this year. At the age of 16, it's going to be throwing him a little bit in at the deep end, if you ask me, to play him in the season. But I admire the fact that they want to at least give it a go. Of course, last time I left you, we were looking at Maulida, who I feel like people told me how to correctly say his name, and I didn't pay attention to it. So I apologise if that's incorrect. Feel free to let me know how to actually say this guy's name. But we were looking at him. We're trying to unsettle him a little bit at the moment. I'm trying to put in an offer that isn't too much, but at the same time should be good enough that he is going to kick up an absolute stinker with Nice and want to, well, hopefully move to us. The good thing about this guy is he would be homegrown at club, which is very useful for us to have. We'll declare interest for him as a transfer, just to try and get the ball moving on him, forcing a move. But yeah, he would be a really, really good homegrown addition for us to add to the team. If we were to bring him in the attacking midfielder position, we might have to look to move on one or two more players. In terms of our players in the final third. Thinking about it, if I was to bring him in, I might even look to loan out DJ. He is the kind of player who needs really, really regular first-team football, I feel like, in our own division. And we're not going to be able to give that to him this year. Even if Maulida wasn't to join, it's going to be a struggle. Obviously, we've got a lot of players here who we could sell if we wanted to. I know some people in the comments yesterday were like, Jack, you could sell Depay. I could, but no one's really interested in him, and he had such a good season last year, and he has just signed, obviously, a 4-year extension at the club, that I don't really need to sell him. Yes, it would open up opportunities maybe for younger players, but given how well he played, it feels like an odd decision, at least, for me to, well, look to maybe move him on. Laporte is an interesting one, or Laporte, I'll let you decide how to say his name, but not happy at the moment at Man City. Obviously, young Frenchman, very, very good centre-back, who could also play left-back. I mean, could he be the Eder Militao of left-back? Militao, of course, an extremely good defensive player. Maybe not the craziest going forward, but really does a job for us if we just compare the two. I mean, you can see Laporte is a little bit better defensively, but not as good going forward, which really is where Eder Militao shines. But Laporte here, you can see, only 26 years old. Still quite a young player. The only concern would really be his wages being a bit too high for us. But of course, we have got players moving out. Kind of the finances here at the club are in extremely good condition. Let's be completely honest. I mean, financially, we are looking pretty good. Just looking at it here, we had a few pre-season friendlies removed. So I'm actually going to just pencil in a few more. just in and around this early pre-season bit, just because it'd be good to get some. And we have a load of affiliates in the lower leagues of France. Let's just challenge some of those to friendlies. Hopefully they will accept them. And yeah, a few easier friendlies in there, but should help us get some players some game time. One of our affiliates actually rejected the offer of a friendly. How rude of them. Let's try and get a new one scheduled in. We'll go with it being on the Sunday, and I'm going to just pick a nearby team because they're probably more likely to accept the loan. But yeah, just a chance for us to get a bit more match sharpness. Our pre-season schedule isn't the most busy. I have, of course, just left it to my assistant on the kind of staff responsibilities, but he's not been super into it, has our assistant. He's done a little bit, but we could probably do with a little bit more. Anyway, I'm trying to remember what the domestic loan player limit is. If we just look here at rules, does it say anywhere the maximum number of domestic loans? So you're allowed maximum of 7 players allowed out on loan to domestic-based clubs. So 7. And right now, how many have we loaned out so far? Guiri, Shadas, Kakaret, Marin, Gravenberch hasn't gone domestically, but Owusu has. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Durand is 6. So we've got one more domestic loan that we can do. I'm trying to remember now if we've got anyone going out on domestic loan. No, we've just got Martinez being sold. So the dilemma is, do I want to loan out DJ or do I want to loan out Ferreira? And I think Ferreira's probably the player I want to loan out, to be honest. Maybe if we got an offer from a Portuguese club, maybe then we'd consider things. I'll tell you what, let's exclude domestic clubs. Just see if any Brazilian, well, I guess Brazilian teams wouldn't be a bad team to come in for him, but Portuguese teams rather interested in loaning him. Unfortunately, they are not. Ghent have made an offer for Juan Hernandez. I don't think we're going to be bringing him in. Maulida's offer's been rejected. I'm really hoping that at a point he's going to try and force a move. Benfica have offered us peanuts for Lala. They can go away. Lenglet, uncertain future at the club, mate. You wanted £102,000 a week. I'm not made of money. I'm looking for a lot more for him before he can get a new contract. Players are free to come to me with their concerns. But no, I feel like squad-wise we're in a pretty good position now. Obviously, Martinez looks like he's on his way out the door. It's a shame that Mario Ferreira nor DJ had any loan offers because it would have been useful to get them out. I mean, at the same time, they're both only 20, and with our reserve team now playing kind of regular football, it's not the end of the world, I guess, if we have to just put them in the reserves for another year. That's something that I'm kind of okay with doing. It wouldn't be something I necessarily lose sleep over. I'm just wondering if we should try and sell Georgialin. He's been kicking up a fuss regularly. If we get rid of him, are we still going to have 4 homegrown players at club? I feel like we are. Yeah, we will. We'll comfortably have them. So I could just move him on if I wanted to. Tell you what is nice to see, the fact that in our starting 11, 4 players are homegrown at club. Georgialin, however, not one of those players who's in the first team. We've already offered him out for nothing. Let's offer him out for $500,000 and see if anyone's interested. With him on his way out, I probably need to get a goalkeeper in. I'll tell you what, we'll look at homegrown goalkeepers to start with. I don't think there's going to be one, but then beyond that we can look at transfer listed and loan listed keepers. And, well, as I suspected, there isn't really any. So let's have a look at transfer listed keepers. Anyone here who's particularly good? Can you get Mignolet in on loan? Oh, not on loan, on transfer. Is there one who's loan listed? I guess the issue is that loan listed keepers probably want to be playing first team football rather than just being a rotation option. Dean Henderson could be a good loan option if we do need a third choice keeper. Bazunu, I've seen turn out very, very good this year in FM quite a lot. He's actually a bit better than Henderson. He's only 18 as well. Can we loan him to the end of next season, Man City? Loan can't be terminated. A 2-year loan for him makes a lot of sense. For Bazunu. He's actually not a bad keeper at all either. If we just compare him to Georgialin, I mean, comfortably a better player at a much younger age. And a 2-year loan is fairly, not permanent obviously, but it's a longer term loan. And I think what that would achieve is it would allow us, if we just look at our under 19s, to loan out Durand for the next couple of years, but then hopefully in 2 years' time he'd be ready to play for us. It has just dawned on me that with Bazunu, I don't remember if I set the loan thing to be a backup player. So let's make sure we get that. In fact, we'll put it in as hot prospect. They're still happy with it, which is fine. Hopefully he's open to joining us on loan. But that is just a deal that would make a lot of sense for us, really. No offers for Georgilin. Can you force a move, mate? You've been desperate to leave. And, yeah, he wants to leave. Our offer's been rejected again. I'm really hoping that at a point he just kind of kicks up a fuss. I'm going to just withdraw. We'll keep an eye on him. But he's not a player who we absolutely have to sign. He's just one who would be good to sign. I mean, really, the asking price that they've got of high, kind of £20 million isn't completely out of our budget. But it's just one of those ones where it'd probably be worth waiting. Abel Ruiz has some interest in him. I guess it's loan offers. It is. I really like this guy. He has a lot of potential in FM. I think he played against us last season, actually, in the Champions League. So he's a good player. He's someone who's only available for loan at the moment, so no kind of permanent transfer on the card, but worth being aware of. Lucas Paqueta is loan listed by Milan. Part of me wants to sign him permanently. A loan deal isn't all that appetising to me. Guendouzi is available for loan. See, he could be a good little kind of midfield option. We talked about needing a centre mid. Unfortunately, they want quite a lot of money for him. Of course, we're looking at loan listed players here. Is there anyone who's transfer listed who we should really be getting excited about? I'm kind of looking for a name here that's going to jump out at me and it's going to be like, yes, you're the one. But I'm concerned that there really isn't a player like that. Let's set the age to at most 25. Just to filter through these a little more efficiently. I mean, there's big names here, but there's none who I get super excited about, if you know what I mean. Zinchenko's an interesting one. Of course, a very, very versatile player. Has played a weird kind of fringe role, I feel like, in the City team over the years. Pasalic is available. See, he's an interesting one as well. I guess they signed him from Chelsea, right? Yeah, they signed him from Chelsea for £9 million. He's an okay centre mid. He's not great. We kind of have a lot of centre mids already like him. What I need to kind of keep reminding myself here is I don't need to sign anyone, but additionally, I don't really need to sign more squad players. I need more key players who are really going to make a difference for us. Anyway, you can see here, Joseph Martinez is going to leave. A little bit of a loss on him. Of course, joined us from MLS and Atlanta. He's a good player. He did okay last year, but ultimately he's just on way too much money. We've got some better young striking options. So I feel like it just makes the most sense. He's a player who's, talked about wanting to leave. He wanted to leave himself at the end of the year, so it kind of just makes sense. I mean, with that transfer, now it kind of looks like there maybe is a spot in the first team for Ferreira and DJ, if we want there to be. I'm perhaps more likely to keep DJ in the team. Let's see if we can get a loan offer to Ferreira. We won't exclude kind of domestic clubs this year. I'd love him to go somewhere and really prove himself. He was so good last year in Ligue 2. Like, he's more than earned an opportunity, I feel like, to play in our own division. I just don't think he's quite ready for our squad. Additionally, he's a player who I'm not really that familiar with in FM. I've not seen him go on to be a superstar. I want him to be that underdog story. I'm sure you've all had that kind of real player in Football Manager who just seemingly out of nowhere always performs well. I'd love Ferreira to be that man, but he kind of needs to prove it. Anyway, you can see we've got a load of scout reports coming in here on various homegrown players at club. Kind of just interested to see if there were any that scored particularly highly on the ratings, and of course a few of the Bundesliga players who we were also looking at. So Maulida's estimated cost is between 17 and 34 million. Might not improve that much either. That's a little bit of a turn off. He's a very, very good homegrown player, but if he's not going to improve a great deal, is he worth much more than 20 million? Thing is, he is only 21. They want 34 million desperately. I'm just going to make an offer, and I'm going to make them an offer of 21 million and 20% of any profit, and we'll see what they say. But yeah, really, today's episode is just going to be more of pre-season. I don't think we'll be starting the season today. I hope that we'll get to the first game of the season, although we'll kind of have to wait and see on that one, I guess. But I don't know, there's something just quite relaxing about pre-season. I'd like to think that you at least get a bit of an insight into kind of my way of thinking at the very least. But yeah, I don't know. It's quite therapeutic, I feel like, for me, just kind of talking through my decisions. Sometimes I definitely get stuff wrong and feel like, after the fact, man, maybe I should have done stuff differently. I don't get that time when I'm doing these episodes that I might otherwise get when I play Football Manager, you know, where you can sit for 10 minutes and ponder things over. I definitely have had, on occasion, times where we have sat down and thought for a while and and ahed. But I try and make decisions relatively quickly. I'll let you guys be the judge over whether or not I'm entirely successful with that. One thing we've not looked at is players with contracts expiring in a year's time. Always, always, always worth doing this. Because these are players who, if you make offers for, the clubs are sometimes more inclined to sell them because they're desperate not to lose them for nothing. Oscar's still got his contract expiring at the end of the season in China. Oscar's such a good player, but he's just not quite the kind of player we need, I feel like, especially with his wages. A little bit of a stumbling block. But yeah, I've talked about it before. I might as well talk about it now just while we're looking through players. But you might remember I talked about next week. I'm going to be a little bit kind of away over the Easter weekend. It's kind of a long weekend. But starting midway through next week, we're going to have the Bottom at Christmas live challenge. What that is essentially I have taken over the team bottom of the Premier League on Christmas Day. And we're going to try and keep them up. Now, I've recorded about 6 episodes of it so far in advance. I'll tell you now, I am really struggling in it. Like, it's really, really difficult. And I must admit, after I record every episode, I kind of have my head in my hand thinking, my word, what am I doing? I wish I had the comment section to rely on. I feel like if you want to see me suffer, if you want to see that I am human, I do have saves that just don't go to plan. It's going to be a great one for you. Additionally, I'm not taking it quite as seriously as this, you know, where I'm really kind of micromanaging everything. It's a little bit more laid back. It's a little bit more silly. There's some fun signings in there. But it's kind of just been nice to do something a little bit different. I really enjoy Lyon Live. And it's just really fun, isn't it? Like, we have such a good squad. We have a lot of money. Like, things are all great. But it's kind of made me appreciate, perhaps, that Lyon is not an easier team to manage. But versus a team who's bottom of the league, it's a lot easier managing Lyon, especially live. Yeah, panic, tactical changes, all that jazz. I'm hoping it will be enjoyable. Unfortunately, Bazunu's rejected a loan offer, which is a bit of a shame. I wonder if that's because we said he'd be a hot prospect. I wonder if we put in a loan offer but set him to back up if he'll be more interested in joining. We'll give it a go. Bayern have made an offer for Ndombele. It's £52 million. It's not enough money. Maulid has had a transfer deal negotiated. They've asked for 34. I'm going to lock in this. I'm going to lock in 25 and see what they say. But yeah, this Bomb at Christmas challenge, it's just something shorter term. Obviously, whilst I'm away, I don't want to record loads of episodes in advance because one of the things I'm really enjoying about Lyon Live is I can be quite reactionary, you know, to you guys in the comment section, and there is kind of that more direct line of feedback. But I had been thinking a little bit ahead as to what might come after Lyon Live or alongside Lyon Live even. Of course, I've got the network game with Ben going on still. That's probably going to be running until probably the end of the month, maybe a little bit into May. As I said, we've got this Bottom at Christmas challenge, which is good for them. We've got Lyon Live. But obviously, depending on how this season goes, I want to think ahead to what we might do. And one thing that I'm really liking the idea of at the moment, and I would be curious to know what you guys think of it, is... and yeah, I really do want to hear your feedback. So if you're someone who normally doesn't leave a comment or anything like that, please do get involved in this. But I'm thinking I would like to do a save in the Canadian Premier League. Now, if you don't know about the Canadian Premier League, because obviously it's a bit of a weird one, it's not a league officially in FM. It's actually a league that's been established this year. And it's Canada's first professional league. In the past, of course, you've got Vancouver Whitecaps, Montreal Impact, and Toronto, who all play in MLS. They play in the American system. And as a result, Canadian youngsters would kind of play through all the academies in Canada. But as soon as you hit 21, if you want to play professional football as a Canadian, you either have to go to the USA or go further afield. And so this year in real life, actually starting in about 3 weeks' time, the Canadian first ever Football League season starts. There's 7 teams in it, and they're going to play, I think, 24 or 28 games across the season. It's a bit of a weird league format where everyone plays each other 4 times and there's kind of 2 seasons a year. But I think as an FM save, it could be really fun because the seasons are quite short. And the whole aim would be to, really make Canada a bigger force on the international stage. Try and get Canada to a World Cup, try and get them to rival the USA, maybe even try and win a North American Champions League as a Canadian club. Unfortunately, Bazunu's rejected the offer and Maulida's offer's been rejected again. I don't really want to go higher on either of those players. But yeah, with this save, I think it would be a bit like the Gibraltar save from 2016. And if you've never heard of that save, and maybe you've come across the channel recently, it's called the Rise to Glory. If you search Rise to Glory, Gibraltar, WorkTheSpace, I'm sure you can find the playlist for this series. It's like a 200 episodes. So if you enjoy this and you want to see kind of more FM content, you're looking for something new to binge watch between Lyon Live episodes, I can't recommend it enough. But I feel like doing a save in Canada could be quite like that, and that was a really fun save. In terms of if we do it live, I'm not sure. Just because there's only 28 games a season and then any domestic games on top of that, I think it's a kind of save that would work quite nicely with, intermittent updates. Maybe we do a few episodes a week of it. But at the same time, I would like to keep Lyon Live going alongside it. The issue is, I guess, it's going to be... It's always going to be a bit tricky to kind of juggle 2 saves at once. That's always one of my concerns. But I do feel like depending on how things go here with Lyon Live, obviously I would love it to be a situation with Lyon Live. Maybe we just do some super long episodes. Maybe we do some live streams on Twitch or on YouTube of it and then upload the VODs for those of you who still want your Lyon kind of binge. But I don't know. I feel like with Football Manager, there's just something fun about just doing lots of saves. I feel like in the past in a Football Manager on YouTube, I've always fallen into the trap of doing, these super, super long-term saves. And this year I've quite enjoyed, just having a bit more freedom to do whatever I feel like doing. I would really want to know your thoughts on it, and I guess it would depend on some of the reaction. But for me personally, I'm really enjoying Lyon Live. I do want to keep it going. I feel like it's the kind of thing where I'd always want to have it in some capacity for the next few months at the very least. But in terms of how successful we've been, I kind of feel like... people were asking it just a couple of episodes ago after I won the Champions League. Are you going to move on clubs? And I do enjoy journeymen, and journeymen saves are fun. But the issue is when you've started at a club like Lyon, you can kind of just have any job you want beyond this. And so I'd kind of rather start with a clean slate. And I feel like a Canadian save could be kind of interesting. With it being a new league format. There's just a lot of things to like about it, I guess. Anyway, we've had a loan offer from Brest for Ferreira, which is the loan offer I'm going to take. Even though it's a squad rotation option, they've got Europa League football this year, if I'm not mistaken. They've actually got to get through the playoffs, but if they get through, they could have lots of fixture congestion, so there's going to be lots of football, I think, for Ferreira to get involved in. Anyway, just in summary, because I appreciate I kind of waffled on there. Essentially, come the end of this month, start of next month, I want to look at things, see how successful the bottom of Christmas save is that we are doing next week whilst I'm away. But I'm very, very much strongly thinking that a Canadian Premier League save, a CanPL save with the new league, could be a really, really fun kind of challenge to do. Something longer term, trying to build up a nation. I appreciate some of you guys love Lyon Live, so I don't want it just to vanish. So I want you guys to be very much aware of that. But at the same time, I feel like variety is the spice of life. And I feel like a Canadian Premier League save would really test me. And having done the bottom of Christmas save, I kind of miss being tested a little bit in the game, if that makes sense. Anyway, you can see here, top goal scorer kind of predictions. Gabel's is second behind Maulida. I'd love to bring in Maulida. Do I want to pay £30 million for him? That's kind of the question. Thing is, he plays the same role and position as Moise Kean. Is it Moise Kean or Moise Kean? Answers on a postcard. Let's just compare these two guys. See, I think they both kind of have a spot in the team in their own way. Oh, it's a tricky one, folks. It's a tricky one. It's the kind of deal that would almost make sense if we were getting rid of Depay. Is it bad that I almost want to just offer out Bertrand Traore, who's coming back from injury, and just see if anyone's interested? Let's give it a go. Hopefully he's not going to be unhappy about the fact we're offering him around. But I feel like it's just worth testing the waters. No one's interested. Liverpool have made a bid for Toussaint. It's 22 million. Like, bugger off. Gabels has done well in training again. He's gone up to 16 balance. We've got 3 yellows now. I mean, last year I did a prediction, didn't I, when I asked about, you know, how many goals he'd get. I almost want to be like, how many yellows will he have at the end of the season? Marco Varnier here, who plays at Atlanta, looks like a really, really good ball-playing defender. We don't really need another centre-back. So he's an entirely unnecessary transfer. He just looks quite good. There's something about Italian centre-backs. It's quite a romantic thing, isn't it? The Italian centre-back. I feel like when you think of nations of centre-backs, for me personally, I think of Italians. Right, Toussaint's kicking up a fuss. Can you turn him around? No. Toussaint wants to move. I know you value your social group here. Look at that. We've got a great bunch of lads in the squad. Yes, we have Toussaint, and you're one of the lads. I love this guy. I almost want to meet up with Toussaint in real life and just take him out for a drink. If anyone has his phone number, please get me in contact with him. I just want to thank him for all his service he's done for me in the last 2 years. Anyway, we've got that game against PSG coming up. It's only a week away. We really have whizzed through today's episode. I kind of feel like I should be trying to find some players. Jean-Marc Vincent won Euro Under-19's best player. That's what I want to hear, and that's what I want to see. We also have this guy, Marco Napolitano. I mean, why is he playing for Milan with a name like that? He's incredible. How much do you want, Milan? How much? They're going to ask for that 100 million, aren't they? Is it bad that I'm tempted to go in for him? Is that mad? He's a very, very good left-back. I mean, who have we got who's a left-back in our under-19s? Oh, of course, we've got Nick. Nick, how do you compare? I mean, Napoli's just a little bit better right now. And there is a 2-year age gap. It's actually like 2.5 years. I shouldn't go in for him, but at the same time, 10 million doesn't seem that mad. The other player who did well was Dabo here, who will get a scout report on. He actually looks like a very, very solid centre mid option. We'll get an offer, a scout report even. We'll get there eventually on Napolitano. Let's just have a look at who else performed well in the Under-19s Championship. Savic, who's a young Serbian player. We've already scouted this guy apparently. He does look quite good, but apparently Basel don't want to sell him, and he doesn't look crazily good. We've got William Bonao. I mean, you're very good as a striker. I like the look of this guy. Young French player. Rennes. How much do you want? How much? With the money that we've got to spend, I almost want to just spend like £7 million on some young French talent for the future. Like, just because we've kind of got it. He got 3 goals. Does he look good enough to be a £7 million player? I'll let you decide. I feel like it's one of those things where you kind of got to look at it quite objectively in terms of where we are right now. And kind of, I guess, the current situation we're in. And the reality is that, wow, you are a very, very good Bulgarian goalkeeper. We're getting a scout report on him. But yeah, I feel like you've got to look at things in context. With the money that we've got, we could bring in some very good players. It looks like the French youth team as a whole did really, really well. Enzo Milo here looks good too. He can play on the right or left. How much do Monaco want for him? Obviously, we'll wait for the scout report to make a definitive offer. I mean, is he just not that good when it comes to potential? He looks pretty good. 18 years old. He's only just turned 18 as well. £4 million they want for him. I almost feel like there's nothing to lose by going for a player like him. Is there some other good young French players here? We've got here Anthony Roello. He's okay. Then we've got William, who we've already put in a bid for. Then we've got Mbeye So, who plays for City. I mean, he's a great centre-back. I just feel like playing for City, he's probably going to want a little more than we can afford. And then we've got Simon Guillet, who again, I feel like we've scouted him before. He looks good. Does he look like an all-star? I'll let you guys decide. This guy's good. Andre Nellimans. Good little right back. Very good little right back, actually. The more I look at him, the more I like him. Only 17. Played for PSV a little bit last year in their second team. I guess the question is, how much do they want for him? £8 million probably. That's a little out of my budget. There's this guy, Miso Suljajic. He's okay. Of course, just as a reminder, we are playing with a tribute masking off, but what I would normally do here is I would just kind of scout all of these players. This guy's good, and what a name. This is going to be a mouthful. Adiwale Sunday Okorowanta. I think I did okay with that. I'm almost stunned at the fact I've said a name that actually almost sounds correct. He's 17 years old. He plays at Atlanta. How much do they want for him? They want 49 million. I mean, he does have fantastic hair and he does look very, very good. And to be honest, he probably is worth the kind of money they're asking for. As mad as that might sound. Like, he actually looks very, very good, doesn't he? Is there any other players here? A few younger Italian players. Alessandro Russo. He looks good. Of course, we are looking for a backup keeper. Kind of a third choice. He could be that man. There's also this guy, Alessandro Cortinovis. He's good. I'm trying to think. There's a young striker who I signed in my Norwich City save that I've been playing in my own time. Is it Canavo? I think it's Canavo. I want to see how good he is. That's not him. It's Cana something. He's a striker and he plays in Italy. I almost want to load up the save to go and check his name. I feel like it's Fabio. Maybe it's 1N. Fabio Can? I feel like I'm just making up names. Maybe he's playing for one of the Italian youth teams. He's a striker, the guy I'm looking for. Pietro Pellegrini would be a good signing, wouldn't he? I don't know if Monaco will sell him, but given the fact they didn't qualify for the Champions League, maybe we can unsettle him. I think it's unlikely. Yeah, they want 101 million. I'll tell you what. We'll make a bid on him. But it's not going to be a bid. I've accidentally gone back a load of pages here. Let's make a bid on him and hope that he kicks up a bit of a fuss. 7.5 million. That's 2.5 million more than his asking price. It's a fair offer if you ask me. I now want to find out the name of this striker. It's really going to annoy me. To the point where I really am tempted just to load up the save game to try and find him. Oh my gosh. I'm actually opening Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, please do follow me on Twitter. It's at WorkTheSpace. The fact that I'm actually going on Twitter to find out this player's name. Obviously, this is the disadvantage of Lyon Live, is the fact that if I was playing in my own time, this wouldn't be nearly as embarrassing as it is now for me. I'm looking for this player. I think I tweeted a screenshot of him to Ben at one point. So let's search Dr. Ben. We're getting desperate here. Oh my gosh, I really want to know this guy's name. I'm not going to be able to find it, am I? I'm going to just find loads of people who have tagged me and Ben in tweets together. That's what's going to happen here. Oh my gosh, I really, really want to know this guy's name. I'm desperate. I can't find it on Twitter. I've given up. I've given up. Please, some of you will know the player I'm talking about, I'm sure. I feel like he plays for Atlanta. I mean, let's have a look. Canovo, something like that. I feel like it's Fabio something. I always want to go hunting for him on the player search screen. Is that mad? I don't think it is. Let's have a look. Right. What am I going to search to find him? This is the bit where we spend all this effort trying to find this one player and he's just not very good. Right. He's Italian. He's pretty young. When he's rubbish, I'm going to be really disappointed. He's been absolutely insane for me. But he's an example of one of those players that I hadn't heard of before this specific save game. And I've not seen other people talking about him either. I mean, he's got to come up, right? He's got to come up. He's got to be somewhere here. How far down would I have to go to find him? Unless he just isn't in the latest update of the game. Because this would have been on the older database. Oh, I really want to find this player. Really, really do. This is the bit where his name isn't anything like what I've been saying. And I feel like a real idiot. The longer this goes on, the more I want to find it. But equally, the more I'm like, I should have just cut this bit out and cut to me going and checking the guy's name. It's kind of part of the fun, isn't it? Not being able to find him. Oh, what is his name? This is actually going to drive me mad. I swear it begins with, it's like can something. And it has V's in it. I feel like I've just got to concede defeat here and accept that I can't find him. Man, I really want to find him. I really want to find him. Is that bad? I'm now back on Twitter. We'll keep going forward in the meantime. We've got a few of the regions we've been looking at. Bono, who I was probably going to be overpaying for. Not going to happen. Milo here, though. I'm hoping the scouts are going to tell me he's the best thing since sliced bread. Okay, he wasn't that happy with my opening offer for him. To be fair, he's come back with some reasonable kind of wage demands. Like, they're not as mad as I was expecting them to be. I would like him to sign a 5-year deal. I've probably offered him a bit too much there because he's immediately accepted it. Mario Ferreira is going to go on loan to Brest, which I think is good. Man, I really want to find out this player's name now. I'm sure you guys are dying to know who it is. I've bigged him up so much. He must be the greatest player ever. Oh, I really want to find him. Enzo Milo. What do we think? We'll wait for the scout report on him, but I feel like for £6 million, he looks like a very, very good 18-year-old. He's only just turned 18 as well. You know, young French player. Kind of surprised that Monaco want to let him go, but then again, they sold Goebbels to us. So maybe I'm not surprised at all. I feel like this player's first name is Fabio. I don't know why I think that. Is anyone going to come up? No, he's not there. Have I gone crazy? I almost certainly have. Oh, I feel like it's Can. Maybe he's not naturally a striker. Maybe he's not Italian. No, he's definitely Italian. Oh, I don't even know. Is that him? No, that's not him. Although that does look like his last name. But I don't think it is Cannavaro. I think it's similar, but not the... I give up. I give up. I'm conceding defeat. I've tried my best. I haven't succeeded. I feel like I'm getting the name completely wrong now. That's the worst thing. I'm now doubting myself more and more about it being Can something. I mean, this is the saga of the whole episode. The people want to know what the guy's name is. And I genuinely... I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I give up. We beat Schalke in a pre-season friendly. That's pretty good. Our next game is PSG in like 3 days. Can I ask the board for more money yet? No, is the answer. A resounding no as well. Oh, I want to... I really want to find this player. I feel like Twitter isn't showing all my tweets either, which probably isn't helping me in my search. The worst thing is I can't even edit out all this umming and ahhing now. Because we've done so much in the meantime. Right, Maynard looks to sign a new deal. Oh, in fact, no, he has signed a new deal. He signed his senior contract. He looks pretty good, doesn't he, at 16, to be fair to him. I can't find this player out. I tell you what, I'm going to go load up the save game and show you a picture of him, because I've bigged it up so much at this point. I feel like I have to show you how good he is. So, yeah, I'll be back in a second. So, folks, welcome here to the Norwich... I'm joking. This isn't the Norwich project. This is my own save. Funnily enough, I do play Football Manager in my own time. Outside of doing videos, somehow I find time for it. This is also for the person who every week spams me telling me that I should do a Norwich save game. I know there's one person who's always doing it. The guy I was thinking about is this guy, Kevin Canavo. I don't know if he exists. I'm now going to copy his name, but look how good he is. I bet you he's just not in our save game now. He plays for Palermo in Serie B. I bet he's not even going to be in the game. Am I an idiot? Right, let's go back to Lyon Live. This is the parallel universe where Jack did a Norwich save. Right, I think I'm an idiot. Let's go find out if he's even in the save game. Well, there you have it, folks. I am an absolute tool, apparently. He just hasn't loaded up in our database. I wasn't going crazy, but he's a good player. So if you have Serie B loaded, keep an eye out for Canavo. If you don't have Serie B loaded, well, welcome to my world, I guess. I can't believe I just spent the best part of 10, 15 minutes talking about this player and how amazing he was and how you'd be a good addition, and he's just not in our save game. Because I only loaded up, when I force loaded players who play for top division teams in Europe, and he plays in Serie B. Oh, right, well, we can clear all of this. At least we have the memories. I hope you enjoyed that trip to the Norwich save. I do occasionally wonder if I should just do the odd video where I just talk about different save games I have on the go, you know, and just talk about the tactics that I'm using and maybe give you guys some ideas for save games of your own. But, well, we can at least have some closure on that chapter. Gabriel Jesus is apparently unhappy. I'm getting ideas. Is anyone else getting ideas? I can't ask the board to sign him. What about Man City? We'll give you... we can't give him... I was going to say we'll give you like 20 million and then we'll give you Lucas Romero in exchange. Oh, how good would Gabriel Jesus be? Let's just announce him as the top transfer target. Let's see if we can force a move from Man City and that he wants to leave. 69 million is massively out of our budget though, but he is very, very good in Football Manager as Gabriel Jesus, and we can maybe play him on the right. I mean, really, we are just looking for that one standout striker, and he's a little unhappy at the moment. Our bid for Pellegrini's been rejected again. Has he kicked up a fuss about it yet? Has he got unhappy? No. Wants to be... oh, okay. I thought that was going to be like, wants to become a regular in the first team. Or I was hoping it was going to say wants to move to a bigger club. That's not what's happened. He's decided he's happy. Marseille have made an offer for Maulida. I don't know how to feel about that one. Should I be going in for him? He is homegrown. I mean, how does he compare to Gabriel Jesus? I mean, he doesn't really is the answer. He just doesn't. But he is homegrown. Let's make one late offer here of 28.5 million. That's way more than I want to offer for him. I'm not even sure if he's worth it. That is the issue right now. Anyway, we've got more loan offers coming in for players who obviously could move out domestically, but I think we're at the limit now. So it's all just a big waste of time. Anyway, we can register some players here who are the new signings. So we've got Markovic and DJ, the two Serbians, of course, players who have been out on loan last year. Francisco Ramos, a squad player, and Eder Militao comes in as well. We only have two non-EU players right now. They are Eder Militao and Wallace. I feel like we're in a pretty good position when it comes to our squad. I can maybe do with resting a few players with the PSG game tomorrow. I will say today's episode's been a weird one. I think the sleep deprivation might be finally kicking in, but it's just been one of those ones where we've gone on weird tangents. We've talked about save games for the future. We've talked about an Italian player whose name I did remember correctly, just wasn't loaded in our save game, which is why I couldn't find him. And, well, we are trying to now sign Jesus. Is there anyone else here? Tiziano Aneda, you're very good. You're like mini Totti. Wow. Really like the look of this guy. Holy crap. Good job, scouts. Where did you find this boy? In before they asked for like 56 million. 8 point... Okay, how about this, Roma? I'll give you 2.8. If he plays 30 league games, I'll give you 1 million. If he plays 50 league games, I'll give you another 1 million. And if he plays the Italian national team 10 times, I'll give you 1 million. So you'll be a millionaire, basically. This is another one of those examples of a deal which I'm hoping is just going to protect us in case he is a flop. But still, the initial outlay is quite low. And I do really like the look of him. And our scouts like the look of him as well. For the price as well, he looks exceptional. Really, really good kind of false nine. Technique's good. Maybe his passing and vision could be a little bit better, but he just looks like he ticks all the boxes. I really, really like the look of him. Hasn't played in their senior team at all. And the price is not too mad either. Let's offer him as a backup. I'm just a bit concerned he's going to want a lot of money. But given the club's current financial situation, you know, for a player like this guy, we can kind of go in a little bit more kind of big, I guess, with the initial offers. If we need to lock down a player's service. Tell you what, if you pay 25 games for us, I'll give you 19 grand. If you pay 20 games for us, I'll give you 16. And your initial wage will be 19. But I do want an optional extension of 1 year. That's okay. I didn't want to push it for more than a year because I thought he might reject it. But he could be a very, very good signing. Apparently we face late pressure to sign him from Inter. Surprised Roma are willing to let him go, but he just on the face of it, he looks exceptional. I'm just wondering if there's any other kind of top young players who our scouts have identified who we should be aware of. Marco de Jong. Is de Jong just a really common last name in the Netherlands? He's a good player. My concern is how much they might want for him. We'll offer 2.5 million. They've gone with 5.25. What about 3.7? They want 4. 3.8. They're loving it. 3.8 million for him. We're looking kind of for value in the market when it comes to younger players. Thing is, at £3 million, there's very little chance that we make a loss off a player who's as good as he is. He just looks very, very good, at least on first viewing. Even if he was to be plagued by injuries and really not develop, you'd still favour him to be a player who can, you know, be sold on for more than what we're paying for him. Belotti is available for loan at the moment from PSG. Are they trying to get rid of him? He might become unsettled if he's not allowed to move to us. End of next season. Do we have to have it so he can be recalled? We do. I guess that's a clause with domestic clubs. Tell you what, Belotti on loan would be huge. But are PSG big enough mugs really to sell him to us? Or loan him to us for 2 years? And for a fraction of his wages as well. Last year he didn't play that well for them. But he's the kind of player who could be incredible just to have as a backup. The offer's been accepted. Let's get an offer for de Jong while we're here as well. Probably offered more than I needed to for him. I forgot to put in the optional extension, but it's still a 3-year contract. He looks pretty good. Who is listed as Ajax's hot prospect? This guy who, I'm going to be honest, I'm not familiar with at all. Nerasho Casanwerio? I don't know if it... Or Wirjo? Answers on a postcard. I'm really not familiar with some names. It always gets me a bit excited when there's players who I don't know about and they turn up in Football Manager. Especially if they can come good for you as well. That's the added bonus really, isn't it? Let's go back to the transfer list. Has anyone new appeared? Kingsley Coman. Oh, young French player wants to leave. If only the board would give me more money. If only the board... Maybe at the start of next month they'll talk about it. Now, he probably isn't worth £72 million. He's just one of France's best young players. He's the kind of signing I'd love to make. I guess he's not going to be available for loan, yeah. I didn't think he would be. Oh, that's really, really tempting. Also, Moussa Dembele's requested to leave from Chelsea. What happened there? He did really well at Chelsea. Did Chelsea have a bad year? Why does he want to leave? What happened last year for them? I've got the Premier League on view only, so it doesn't show on the club team profiles. But if we go here... Okay, they finished 6th. I mean, could we just bring in Dembele? Can we just bring him back? Do we have any clauses in his contract? We do. 30% of profit from his next sale. I can't see him getting sold for more than 60 million. Can we loan him? No. Their asking price for him is 123 million. I'll give you 20. Oh, I mean, eventually one of these players is going to kick up a fuss. I just feel like we've got nothing to lose by putting in these super lowball offers and upsetting teams. I feel like all the big kind of club managers must absolutely detest us. Nice have accepted an offer for Maulida. What was the offer? 26 million plus clauses. He's good. I mean, how does he compare to Kingsley Coman? I mean, there's really not a world of difference. There really isn't. He's younger than Coman. Is it mad that I actually just want to go in for him? 33 million, is that too much? I guess it comes down... The question of is it too much comes down to what his wage demands are. 65 isn't as much as I was fearing, but all these extra bits are a little bit too much for my liking. See, this guy was predicted to be the top goal scorer in the league as well. His agent is greedy AF. Top goal scorer in the division award. I'll give you $1 million. International cap bonus. If you play for France regularly, 30 grand. That's insane. That's nuts. You still want more. Mate, you need to have a word with your agent. Real talk right now. The only reason I'm willing to put in an offer like this is because he's homegrown. And we have the money. Basically, I wouldn't normally put in an offer like this. But we've got £170 million in the bank. So what is, well, 40 million including kind of clauses. It's not a great deal. It is now the first. Can we ask for more money yet? No. No, we cannot. Lenglet is unhappy that... Did I promise him a new contract? Oh. Think about the social group. You just have to get on with your job. He is not a happy bunny, is he? He wants 100 grand. I literally cannot justify in any universe paying 100 grand for him. We're already looking at maybe breaking the wage budget a little bit to bring in our leader. Who would kind of come in, I guess, to rival Francisco and Trincao and Moise Kean in terms of the wide midfielders. But then what would that mean for Saint-Maximin? Let's just offer out Saint-Maximin and see if anyone nibbles. Did he kick up a fuss last time I offered him out? I think he did. That might be a big mistake. He might be about to have an absolute paddy with me and not be a happy bunny at all. I might have screwed up big time here. Okay, right. Tomorrow we'll start with the PSG game. I'm not going to play it now because we're already coming up to the hour mark. It's already late enough for me. Today's commentary has been a bit all over the place. Maybe you've enjoyed it. If you have, let me know with a like. Of course, do make sure to let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on the idea of the Canada save maybe starting start of May. I'm really, really keen on the idea, if I'm being honest. I feel like building up a nation could be really fun. Obviously, the whole situation with it being quite a small league, but a brand new league is really, really exciting too. And the best thing about it, if you didn't know, well, yeah, most people probably don't know, but although the league is in North America, it's like a European system with normal wages and stuff, none of the crazy salary caps and players being traded and international player slots and designated players and all that jazz that comes with the MLS, which I'm sure you're familiar with. But anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode regardless of how off the rails it's gone. I will see you guys tomorrow. It is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.